to In Touch, Think STEM Career Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Ayo Lufade. This podcast explores the evolving world of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics in underrepresented community, including the Blacks, Indigenous, and the people of color, and now Africa. STEAM is important in our community because our health, economy, and future depends on the solid foundation and innovation and our people's participation in the STEAM field. To inspire and to support the creation of innovation solution for sustainable development that will contribute to positive changes in the BIPOC community, for improving the quality of life. And as STEAM field continues to evolve, this podcast will attempt to connect with men and women who are champions of the STEAM education and career in the STEAM field to gain insight into how BIPOC community can be part of the innovation in the STEAM field. In addition, for our business leaders, today, I have a special focus on, the Edtech, the importance of Edtech in our community. So for business leaders, the disruptive power of new technology makes it ever more important to keep track of advances in domains such as IT, energy, and material by following and anticipating a technology progression from scientific research to real-world application. Executive can better decide how the organization should invest in developing and using technology to create value. Today, I am privileged and I am honored. I'm delighted to have Ms. Adanma Ugwu. Miss Adanma Ugwu, is the CEO and the founder and the co-founder of HiPrep, an Edtech startup in Nigeria, West Africa. HiPrep is a startup education technology company harnessing the power of an online community to inspire deeper learning among school-age children in math, English, and science for the academic enhancement and exam preparation. It is a community-based platform that provides students access to virtual class taught by world best teachers.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Ms. Ada, to my podcast show, to In Touch, Think STEAM Career Podcast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayo, for having me. Thank you for that introduction. I totally love what you're doing, and I can't wait for us to get down into what we have for today.
Excellent, excellent. I like to always start my podcast with icebreaker before we get into the main topic. So you're from Nigeria. I know Nigeria is going to be having an election, presidential election, pretty soon. So who would you like to see win the Nigerian presidential election?
Okay. So
By
I'd
the
like
way,
them to.
even if you can mention some of the players, that would be great.
Interesting. Okay, so Nigeria, we have three major contestants, three major people who are coming up for candidates, presidential candidates. We have Atiku, who has come out for the past 3 years, three presidential campaigns to campaign for election. Then we have Tinubu. The thing about Tinubu is around about 80-something years old now, and he literally thinks, okay, this is his turn to become Nigeria's president, and that's what his driving force is. And then we have Peter Obi. Peter Obi is someone who thinks he has a solution to the problem that Nigeria has. He has a slogan that goes, he's going to move us from consumption to production. Someone who is very particular about statistics. I mean, someone that's done mathematics like myself. I've taught maths for a couple of years. I
Wow.
always like when people give me figures. I feel like if you want to solve a problem, the very
Data.
first place to start from is to have your numbers, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So he has his numbers. He has all of his numbers. He literally knows all of our problems, to the down, to the least. And for me, that's the person I trust. That's the person I would vote for. That's the person I am rooting for. And hopefully by February, that's the person that's going to be our president come February 2023.
Excellent. So what is his chances right now of winning?
Okay, so for now, we have the geopolitical zones. The Southeast is fully obedient, as we call them. I mean, his followers are called obedient. So the Southeast, where he's from, they are fully obedient. The Southwest is somewhere in between, because that's where Tinubu is from. Nigerians are literally Nigerians regard tribes a lot. So that's where Tinubu is from. So that's like a 50-50 for him. And then you have the South, you have the South. The South is obedience. The Northeast and the Northwest, he's struggling there. But the North Central is also obedient. So I mean, he has almost like a 50% chance already. But yeah, we are not yet there yet. We're still doing the campaign. Every day, the other candidates would somehow have something to say that's just discouraging, that discourages their fans and their supporters, and they keep coming over to the side. So we won't see how far we can go, but like I said, it's almost like a 50% chance for him now.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So recently I saw on LinkedIn, you posted, that was, by the way, a beautiful post. You had a 20-day challenge with a friend of yours. Do you want to share what that is all about?
Yes. I mean, have you had a situation where you feel like you're doing something amazing, but it's almost like you're not telling your story enough?
Yeah.
That was what I felt like sometime last month. I know about the power of LinkedIn. I know about LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn for a very long time, but I had never posted anything. And I needed that. At some point, I felt like, okay, I need to actually tell the world what I'm doing a lot more. Speak out, even if it's just one person I inspire to, pick up their dream and start to work, put in the work into their dream. I want to do something. I want to talk, right? And this is not the first time I've told myself I want to talk. I tell myself that all the time. And then maybe I start it, maybe I do it for like 1 week and then I stop. So that was what I didn't want. I wanted to be consistent. I didn't want any form of procrastination or overthinking my post, which is something I always do. Sometimes you stop overthinking this thing I want to post. Is it good enough? And stuff like that. So I joined this challenge. It's an interesting one. We had a couple of people, we all come together, we have prompts on, ideas on kind of things that you can talk about, you can post about. And it was interesting to see me clicking the post button or hitting the post button 20 days in a row, non-stop, no overthinking. It was just beautiful and no distraction. It was good.
So how's the result been, the outcome?
Massive. I mean, I'm here today because of that challenge. Part of the reason you saw me. Yeah, I mean, you saw me from one of the posts I made.
Yes.
You connected. I mean, what you're doing is amazing. I love to be part of it. I love to, connect with you. But you are not the only one I connected with. I connected with so many other amazing people.
Excellent.
My post impression was massive. It was crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I saw the post that you made. I think you were telling a story about how you started the HiPrep. Basically, it was inspired by your daughter. Can you tell us a little bit about that story,
About
please?
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so around the time I put to bed, I gave birth to my daughter in 2016.
Yeah.
That was around the time I started wanting to leave the bank. I was working in the bank at the time.
Yes.
Suddenly I just had this I want to leave the bank. I want to go and do something I studied, which was education. I want to teach. I want to be in the school system.
Yeah.
And I eventually had that courage and I left. I went to a school. Now, upon reaching the school, I was teaching in one of the best schools in Abuja. I saw what learning like. I was raised by teachers. All
Wow.
my life, I've lived with teachers, right?
Nice.
I studied education,
Right.
and then here I am in a school. I could see what I wanted. This is what learning meant to me. I saw beautiful practices and approaches to teaching and learning in that school. I learned as much as I could. I made some friends. And then my daughter started to grow up and I realized, oh, I need to put this channel for her to watch something about this. Oh, there's this Coco Melon channel on YouTube. There's this and there's that. So every now and then I could give her like my phone and then she's watching something on like an educational channel on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Then from one channel to another, you probably come back like 10 minutes later and you realize that this channel has it has moved, it has changed itself, and she's watching something entirely different. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, especially now that she's grown up. She's 6 now. And then I put something relevant for her. 1 minute later, I'm seeing her watching something that I wouldn't want her to watch. Right. And I'm like, no, I don't want this. I want a channel where my child can watch age-appropriate videos or content that relates to her, that helps her grow in every aspect, right? And I'm not the only one who wants that, because I've actually, been in that position where I've spoken to parents and, they want something like that as well. And, I thought about it and I was like, okay, if nobody is creating something, it's not news anymore that children are attracted to the phones, to our devices and gadgets. They're distracted by these things. They love it, right? Instead of saying, oh, take it away from them, don't give it to them, this and that, why don't we make something that they can actually enjoy doing on the phone? They can actually enjoy doing with their own devices. And, I looked out for some things and I didn't really see what I wanted, because what I want is, like I said, age-appropriate content that a child do not need monitoring to be on, right? The child is literally enjoying as well as learning and growing. That was part of what motivated, that's part of where the motivation behind HiPrep came from.
Nice. I love that story. That was a beautiful story indeed. So, help me, help my audience set up the educational learning system in Nigeria. Is the learning system working? What is it like to be a student in Nigeria? Is the learning system, the educational system really meeting the needs and preparing the youths of Nigeria for Nigerian workforce and being able to compete on a global stage? I want to make I want to, I think your program, your initiative, your Edtech could really could have arrived at the right time. Please, if you can you help us set up so that the audience can have a good perspective? Because a lot of times, we're in a different countries, we have no idea, the context, behind, in a certain country, especially as it pertains to education. Hopefully, by you setting it up, the audience can see not only the connection between one country to the next country, but at the same time, they can see the relevance of your Edtech. Please go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
It's not new that parents are looking for ways to engage their children every day after school. Some parents want to engage their children in academic enhancement programs, some in interest-based learning, exam preparation, stuff like that. The years when I was in the school, there were countless times when I had parents begging me, please, I would like extra support for my child, something more personalized. at home. Could you please help my child? And it was against my school's policy at the time to do something like that. And it's not one parent, it's not two parents. It's a lot of parents who want to engage their children after school. Not just me, but even all the teachers that that are my friends, they will always talk about the fact that parents want to engage their children after school. Now, I don't know what could be part of the reason. Is a lot of parents are actually so busy these days. They understand like the way children are distracted. They don't pay attention to their studies. They don't have time to study after school. It's kind of affecting their performance academically and even in life generally.
Yes.
Even in life generally. Now, this pain was, I came face to face with this pain when my daughter started growing up. Last year, I had to bring her down, step her down one class backwards because I was so busy.
Right.
I was so busy. I didn't have time to, what are you reading today? What are you solving today? What are you doing? I couldn't support her. I couldn't support her learning. I am not the only one. I am a teacher, but I am not the only one. There are multiple parents around the world that are looking for ways to engage their children. And like I said, in a more personal way.
Yeah.
Now, when I looked around and it felt like I wasn't getting what I wanted, like I said, I wasn't getting what I wanted. There are a couple of platforms out there, but I wasn't getting what I wanted. And I was also another person that personally in my life, I was taking some courses online. And I know how easy it is for me as an adult to fall off a course. So you just start a course and then somehow you get tired of it. You just leave it off there. So I see a lot of people who created like courses and they expect children 1 year, 2 years old to go through those courses, on their own. And I didn't see how that was possible. I know that what children need is a replica of what they would get in the classroom, but even more fun, something more interesting for them. Now, when we started teaching online, we started during the pandemic. And what we were doing was we just wanted to help. We just saw a need and we wanted to help.
Yeah.
Right. And as we started to help, we started to get insight into what our parents needed. So, you're helping someone, we're literally helping them for free. We're teaching classes, taking classes for free. And these parents would literally call us and tell us, this is what I want. So we could hear the problem. And the problem was it was universal. There's this parent, a Nigerian parent living in the UK telling us the same thing. There's another parent living in USA telling us the same thing. There's a Nigerian parent, there's a Canadian parent telling us the same thing, that they want this and they want that. And this was something I was like, okay, if we're not going to get someone who is going to do this, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? Why can't I build something that would enable children connect with all the learners, connect with all the teachers every day after school in live classes, with content, with a community. When I mean community, like conversations like you would normally have in a proper classroom. You can have those kind of conversations, those kind of discussions, those kind of brainstorming, and even challenging yourself within your classroom on the platform. And that's a mission we've been running with. So far so good. We are still building our platform, but so far so good. We have a couple of other platforms that we are using, external platforms that we are using to achieve this goal. We use Zoom, for example, for our live classes. We use Google Classroom for other interaction like the community, and that's also where we put our content. So that's what we are doing currently. I don't know if I answered your question though.
Yeah, you did. So I really appreciate. So what's your vision? What you're hoping to achieve?
Okay, so we want to see children who grow a zeal, a passion for learning. We want to become a household name for online learning, where children can have access to resources, age-appropriate resources for their growth. They can have access to teachers from around the world for their live classes. They can have access to community challenges, fun community challenges and activities to keep them working at their best potential. We want to grow their confidence. We want to grow their zeal for learning. That's what the vision is for us. And whenever I'm building HiPrep, you mentioned my daughter. What I keep thinking is, what do I want for my daughter? This is what I want for her, and this is what I want for children around the world. This is what I want for my Nigerian children. This is what I want for my African students, and for everyone I come in contact with. Yes.
Excellent. That's a good, that's actually a good reason to have a program such as yours. So what kind of educational service do you provide? Is it supplemental instruction, remedial, homework assignment, personalized instruction? What kind of services do you provide?
Okay, so currently,
Or I shall actually start with what are the subject areas that you focus on currently, and also the educational service that you provide for the students.
Okay, so currently we provide classes in math. So when we say math, we have like various aspects. We have the mental math, because I mean we're thinking towards growing these children, growing their minds, helping them becoming better thinkers, critical thinkers.
Absolutely.
So we separate it. We have the mental math, we have problem solving. In English, we have reading, we have writing, and then we also do science for children and students in year 7 and above. So for year 1 to 6, we literally just do math and English for now.
Okay.
And we also do science, math for year 7 and above.
Okay.
What do we concentrate on? Currently, we are doing it as after school classes.
Okay.
After school classes. So children, most of our classes start at 5 p.m. Okay. So we have small group classes, and we also have one-on-one classes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that is, and you said the grade level is from grade 7 upward?
No, we start from grade 1.
Oh,
grade 1 upwards, wow. Yes. Grade 1 to 12 is the target. We currently have grade 1 to 9 at the moment.
Okay. Is this educational, your EdTech, do you provide, the way you provide your instruction, is it more like a traditional instruction, like teacher-centered instruction, or do you provide resources like YouTube, video tutorial, Khan Academy for instructional, video instructions, or is it more like activities like virtual activities, virtual activities that is more like student-centered learning? Is that the kind of program that you provide for your students?
Yes, our learning is 100% student-centered. I mean, most of the time I would say we run an activity-based learning platform. That's what it is, okay? We have activities, we come together, children come together, students come together depending on their classes. They share ideas, discuss, solve problems, read, write. Teacher is just there to guide. That's what we do. So we do a lot of activities. Students have access to a virtual notebook that they use.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so we use this virtual notebook where maybe before they join the class, the teacher could have some work assigned to each of the child, depending on where they are on the content. And they walk through, they ask questions, they discuss, they share, they brainstorm ideas, and then they walk. So it's purely activity-based learning, purely student-centered, fun, interesting, because I mean, children know where they're going to, they know what they need to get to, and they decide, oh, this is how I want to take it, this is how I want to do it. By the end of the day, this is the goal that we all have to achieve.
I like that. So what is your program the only program that is really present in Nigeria, or do you have other programs like Edtech in Nigeria? Are you the only major one at this point?
Okay, so HiPrep is the only community-based learning platform for K-12 students in the entire Africa.
Wow, in the entire Africa.
Yes, now. The service that we provide came from a place of coming one-on-one with the problems that parents have. Yeah. So we stood critically, we started to build HiPrep after we had already done classes online, done what we were doing online for 2 years before we started building HiPrep.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we are building is strictly what we know that parents want. However, there are a couple of other platforms that provide on-demand learning video resources for students learning. A couple of other ones as well that provide live classes here in Nigeria. But HiPrep is the only community-based learning platform. It's an all-in-one platform. It gives you the resources, on-demand video, recorded videos and lessons. It gives you the community, and it gives you live classes, interactive live classes. So I would literally boast about that.
Yeah.
HiPrep is the only platform doing that now.
Oh, nice. So you are very innovative. I remember, although I will age myself, I remember growing growing up in Nigeria, learning in Nigeria. You know, although I became very successful actually after my mother pulled me from the public schools and put me in the prep school. I will never forget Sheogarbe Primary School back in Maiduguri, Borno State. I really, I really started progressing majorly. So that was an innovation in my time. But even then, the teaching was always teacher-centered.
Yes.
Now we've come to a point in our lives, especially in Nigeria, whereby things have no, it's not Nigeria, but all over the world. And thanks even to the pandemic, things have moved online, right? Now we're using technology as a form of learning, right? So, so to me, that is a major innovation. And there is a lot of advantage to that, especially as you said, for busy parents. You know, this is actually a good thing. For parents that are concerned about their children being distracted, especially when they're online, for parents that want to make sure that their children are being provided the remedial, courses to make sure that they're on top of their classwork. This is really good. I see a lot of value in what you're doing. Now, and that takes me to, the next question, which is the support from the Nigerian Ministry of Education? Is there any support from the Ministry of Education? What is their thinking at this point, even on the local level? Because the support from this agency could really revolutionize education in Nigeria. So do you have any support? I mean, what is their thinking? What are they thinking? Are they forward thinking, or are they still the old way of teaching?
Okay. We haven't got any support whatsoever from the Ministry of Education in Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm not even aware of any program anywhere that was set up to help start up businesses like what we're doing at HiPrep, which is part of the reason why I want to make some more noise about HiPrep. Like I said, we've been teaching, we've been doing this for 2 years.
Yes.
We recently thought about, we can actually be more than just a group of people teaching online, and we can actually be a platform. We can actually be a company providing this service. We just recently started, so I hope to attract such opportunities if there's anyone like that. But so far so good. I haven't seen anything from the Ministry of Education to support what we are doing. However, Nigeria recently signed the startup bill.
I was going to go there,
I was one of the people that when I heard about that, I was so excited.
Yes, it is exciting. It is exciting.
It's exciting. I was looking forward to that from Nigerian government a long time ago, but I didn't see that. But then when I saw that, I was very excited. I was almost imagining some of the benefits that this could actually bring have for us. I thought about it. I fantasized about it. Oh, this could be good in this way, in that way. But Nigeria, it's one thing to have a vision, it's another thing to implement it. So we are all here, fingers crossed, waiting for the actual implementation. but some of the things that I would expect, from a platform like that or from a policy like that would be innovative ways to get to have create more synergy between founders and founders in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the biggest countries in Africa. That's what we need to have. In fact, we should even have a hub for African creators and African founders to come together and collaborate. What about mentorship? What about funding? What about these are some of the things that I would expect a bill like that to cater for. But yeah, we are expecting and we are hoping that implementation would be as good as the vision they had initially.
Yeah, that would be actually great for you. And if there are any grants that are available, that would be great for your company. Which brings me back to, and you mentioned something about a hub or collaboration and all that. Your Rwanda, it's a tech. It's transformed itself to a technology hub. So it would be great to see Nigeria actually do the same, follow suit. You mentioned someone by the name of Shola Akinlade. So I think he's one of your role models, someone that you look up to. Yeah. So who is he? I mean, why is he so fascinating? I mean, please.
Me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you grew up in Nigeria, you would know how challenging it is to build anything. So sometimes I used to say, I got into this by, would I say by chance? Right? Almost by chance, because I just found myself in a situation and now I want to help, and now it's like a burden in my heart, like I have to help. And then here I am building something.
I hope he's listening.
I hope he listens, honestly. And so here I am building something. And I was doing this thing and I was looking for, there are a lot of things that I had to do on my own, literally thought through things by myself. There were no ideas online because this thing was entirely new. I looked for a way. I looked for role models. I looked for people I could look up to and say, please, just guide me, help me. And I couldn't see. And I had to start reading about people in doing some things, building things in Nigeria. And Shola, I've always known about him, from when he was reading Space Stack and when Space Stack was bought. And I think it's very fascinating to see a man that young build something as beautiful as that. And what's even more fascinating was when I heard him say that this actually started from a place of pain as well. So I think he was studying in the US, and then he saw what other people were doing and he asked himself, why can't we have something like this in Nigeria?
Absolutely.
Is there anything wrong with us in Nigeria that we can have something like this?
There's nothing wrong.
Exactly. And when he said that, he started building immediately. And this was literally where I saw myself also. I could relate. Exactly. I could relate, I was like, why can't we have a learning platform from Nigeria? Besides, why am I waiting for someone else to do it? Why can't it be me doing it? And that was how I got myself into it. Now, beginning or having the dream and the vision to build HiPrep was one part of it. The part when we started working and I realized it was from one hurdle to another and another and another. And the higher you get, the more complicated things are. And I realized that every single person who has managed to build anything out of this country deserves all the accolades in this world. Because the challenge that we experience is quite unique to us. It's only us that would understand. It's only we Nigerians that grew up in this country that would understand the kind of challenges that we go through. It's way different. And reading about Shola, reading about how he built Space Stack, reading about every single thing, decision that he made along the way, and then finally selling, so finally the acquisition that Stripe had, it was amazing. It was mind-blowing. yes, he's my role model. He's someone I have a lot of respect for. And if he's listening to this, I hope that he accepts my connection request.
I hope he's listening
Yes.
likewise.
Yeah.
So I like, because I like what you're doing. For you have someone like Shola that you can look up to. So you aspire to be like him, to be a visionary like him. So that is a good thing. So your aspiration is not limited to Nigeria. It's also globally, right? Correct, currently.
100%, 100%. We want to build a platform that everyone would enjoy using.
Okay.
Literally choose over every other platform. That's what we want to build.
Okay. So what is how affordable are you charging right now, or is it still free?
We're charging.
Okay.
Yes, we are charging. And our program currently, you can actually access our program with as little as $60 per month.
Okay. Okay.
That's about 25,000 naira per month.
Okay.
So we have like different offers.
Okay.
The small class I spoke to you about costs that amount, and then we have varying amounts for other kinds of subscriptions that anyone would want.
Okay. So do you do one-on-one, provide one-on-one educational services or tutoring services to students, or and also do you do is everything virtual right now? Everything virtual?
100%. Everything that we do now is 100% virtual.
Okay.
Like I said, we don't link any tutor to anybody. No, we just have a company that we are running. Then we have our people, staff that work for us. Yep, 100% virtual.
Excellent, excellent. So I noticed that you are hiring teachers. So the teachers limited just to Nigeria or all across the world?
So currently, our teachers are not limited at all.
Okay.
We've actually had teachers from, where's that lady from? We've had like 2 teachers from Indonesia.
Okay.
Our teachers are not limited currently. The only thing is the children that we have now are mostly African kids. They're mostly Nigerians and Ghanaians.
Okay.
Mostly, we have a
Oh,
couple of
nice.
students from other places as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, for now, we kind of limit it to people who speak the accent, that have accent that they can understand. The
Right.
children can understand. For now, but like I said, it's not limited to just Nigerian teachers.
Okay. And the teachers have to be tech savvy, I take it?
100%.
Okay. Okay.
100%. Yes.
One last question that I wanted to ask, because this is my area of passion, is in regards to STEAM. STEAM. What is the state of STEAM education in Nigeria currently?
Okay. So I mean, I'm just talking on my own, what I have observed. The state is, people understand the value of STEAM. Some schools have understood the importance of STEAM education. Implementation is usually different. Implementation is not 100% the way that it was envisioned, but I see a lot of school owners who understand what's the value that STEAM brings. They are not able to implement 100% the way it should be done. However, I see people who are making efforts. So if you go to most schools in, I'm using my vicinity, go to most schools in Abuja now, you would see them, you see that this process thinking thing going on. They have this project they're working on. They're hoping that students can use everything they learn across the subjects to link up and do something. But I don't see that full implementation and that full evaluation of what's going on, and then looking at how well they're able to implement what they want to implement. I just see people who are aware of what they want to do, but probably need some more guidance to be able to implement the ideas. Yes.
Okay, excellent. I really value your presence. I value what you're doing. I believe that you're a visionary. I believe that HiPrep is well needed, especially for now, especially in Nigeria. You are about to really revamp the way our system of learning, you know, has been taking place for a very long time. So I am really happy to be talking to you, to have the fortune of, to be literally talking to Ada. So, so,
Thank you. I'm so happy.
someday, my prayer for you is that your name, your HiPrep, is going to be a household name. Thank you so much for coming on In Touch Thinks team career. Any final words? Any final, pitch that you want to pitch to, to my audience, on to Nigerians that may be watching, or parents that may be watching that want your program?
Okay, so hello everyone who is listening to me. My name is Adanma, and my team and I, we are very passionate about children's education, seeing that children are able to learn relevant skills needed in the world today. We believe that, everyone would become good at something as much as the practice it. So we have this platform that we've created to help students around the world practice, study every day after school with the world's best teachers, with the best teachers around the world. Now, if you find this as something you would want for your child or for anyone your ward, you could reach out to us. Our platform, www.hippreponline.com, is where you can reach out to us. Or you can as well follow me on LinkedIn. My name is Adanma Ugwu. Send me a message and I'll be happy to share our chat platform with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayo, for having me and for this opportunity. I find it very useful. Personally, I wouldn't really want to talk.
You've done great. You've done great. I'm glad. I'm
Your
so
platform
happy.
is taking me out of my shell, and I love it.
It's all good. That's precisely correct. And you should be out of your shell, especially with what you have to offer, right? Right. So thank you so much, Ada, for coming on In Touch Think STEM Careers.